Welcome to Newborn Nursery Reborn. I'm Elena. I am a reborn doll artist. I first started my reborn journey back in 2010 is when I started. So I just wanted to let you guys know, I only did that for a few years. I stopped for about 8 years, and I just opened my doors brand new in October of 2023. But we are not here to talk about all that. We are here to explain the depths and the meanings behind neutralization when it comes to your vinyl dolls. Okay, so first I want you guys to look at these babies, and you can point right out who's been neutralized, who needs a little more, and who is far from being neutralized, right? So this baby right here, she had a very yellow tint to her, okay? And what I did for her, and I am going to explain this so that you guys can understand the depths and why it's important to do the neutralization, because there's not only one trick to neutralizing, there's a few of them, okay? So basically yellow, opposite of yellow would be purple, right? So I would take any purples that I have in my, in my paints, look through my purple, and whatever I found the lightest purple, if that I still needed to be lighter than that, I always add in every coat of neutralizing, I add a little tab of white. I would just dip my paintbrush inside the thing just like that, get out white, mix it in first with the thinner, maybe a little thin and medium if you're using heat set. If you're using air dry or acrylics, this is acrylic air dry friendly as well. You can do the same tricks. So basically, if you're using heat set, you want it nice. You want a nice translucent consistency, and you want to build like a light purple to get the yellow. But the white, the reason why we're adding white is because the depths of the white is also going to go in the kit, and it's gonna help me turn the baby as white as possible. And you go lighter and lighter to neutralizing, so that your baby can turn and be as white as possible, so that your canvas is as white as possible. Even if you're going to paint an ethnic baby of any ethnic, you can do any type of skin tone with a very, very blank white plain doll that you can start from scratch, so you can see everything on the baby, just like a canvas, except we're doing reborn dolls. Okay. So that's example number one. Example number two is we have Aspen Awake from Bountiful Baby, and she was a yellowish tint. So what I did to her to get her very white the way she is, and that blank canvas that I need, I used a very fair lilac purple with a whitewash very lightly, and I did her 3 washes. They could take 4, they could take 5. It depends on how white and how blank you want your kit before you start painting. That's tip number 2. And then we have our sweet 2010 14-year-old kit right here that was sculpted by Adria Stoetti, who is no longer with us, who passed away very, very recently. So RIP to Adria Stoetti. My heart, and condolences go out to her and her family at this time, especially to her children. So this is Adria Stoetti's sculpt, right? And she sculpted this baby back in 2010. Now this baby right here is orange as can be, okay? And this baby needs a really bomb neutralization so she can turn as white as possible, so I can get her any skin color and veins and mottling and all that beauty to come to the surface. So basically what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna look on my reborn wheel, and I'm gonna combine the colors. What's the opposite of orange? It's legit, this is my recipe. I'm not saying this is the 100% correct way. I'm saying this is the way I do things in my nursery. So to get that orange out, and once that orange is out, then I start to do a whitewash with a tad bit of yellow, like a dot of yellow, to get my babies this white. And this is how this is what's going on with these babies. She's wet because she just got one. She just got a white yellow wash so that I can get her as white as Aspen, so that I can start her reborn journey as well. So now what I would do is I would take a dab of each paint, and I will also add a dab of white and mix these three colors together with some thin and medium. And I'm going to go over the kit thoroughly. And when I tell you how badly I go over a kit and how much I wet it and why, I'm going to show you guys an example so you can see why I do things the way I do them in this nursery, because they help. And I hope this video helps you guys, explain to you a little bit. So this is the wash that I have prepared for Paris with Love by Adria Stoetti. And I'm going to mix up her paint wash really good each time. And I'm going to fill up my brush so it's nice and wet. Why? Because I want to soak and wet. I want to soak and wet this. Even if it pools, I'm going to go over it with a sponge right after, and I'm going to grab all that pooling, because I want my kit to be neutralized ASAP. And these are the steps that I have to take in order for me to be able to get my baby neutralized and as blank as possible, so that I'm able to paint any layers that are needed for me to start a beautiful reborn and start my reborn stages in my reborn transformation. Okay, so I just filled that up. Then I'm going to take this sponge. It has a thickness to it. It's brand new. And I'm just going to go over and I'm going to pat everywhere in between. Ooh. Goodness. Sorry about that. You guys fell off the tripod. So we're taking, this nice and wet, and we're just going over it gently, and we're going to go into the creases. You can also go in your creases with another paintbrush and go in the depths of the creases if you want to with a dry paintbrush. So I'm going to take a brand new paintbrush from this pack right here. This pack of paintbrushes. I'm going to take one of these paintbrushes out, and I'm going to try to get into her creases so that there's no pooling with the clean brush, even though I went over with a brand new sponge, just so I'm super careful, because I don't want my baby to have any pooling, because if she does, that color is going to dry on her limbs, and we don't want that. So we are going to be careful. And then I go over it twice, and I set it on the rack, and I let it sit until I see the color that I'm looking for. And if it looks like it needs another layer, we'll go in with a lighter layer. And as I go on with each layer, so I do probably about 2 or 3 coats of the blue-green with the white base on the bottom, so that I can get it nice and white and nice and blank, so I can get it prepared for painting. But what I need to do is I need to make this even lighter than this, because now I'm just trying to kill the orange in it. And how I'm doing that, the opposite of orange is like a bluish green, like almost like a light turquoise. It's not very light. It's supposed to be translucent, but honestly the color is like a medium light. And that's what we want, because we want to be able to remove the orange inside of the kit. And what it does is it kind of like goes to the bottom of the vinyl, to the depths of the vinyl, to remove the orange and turn the vinyl blank, white as this piece of paper right here that I'm painting on, so that you're able to paint your reborns as beautifully as possible and everything can show. When you're painting on a canvas, you want your canvas as light as can be. Why? Because you want to be able to paint the most beautiful picture, and you want your paint nice and crisp and clean, and you want everything on your canvas to show, right? You want all those details to show, you want everything to be seen, and you want your baby to look as realistic as possible. Well, this is the trick on how to get your baby as, you know, neutralized as possible. Instead of doing a whitewash all day long, you can skip over the fun. Find the opposite color of your kit, that color that your kit you're trying to turn. If it's orange, it's this color that I've prepared in my jar. It's like a greenish blue. It has each color in it, but it also has white in it, because that's what I'm trying to do. I want my baby as white as possible so that I can paint her a beautiful skin tone. So then after I go over that, I just, you know, dab it. I go into the pooling, and I just, you know, even if I have to wipe, I wipe. If I have to dab, I dab. But I try to dab, because dabbing the paint into the vinyl is what is going to help your vinyl turn as white as possible. And as long as you can get the orange out, and you see like it calmed down the orange, then you can start a whitewash and skip over this part and make it easier. Okay, but it is always good to go in with the color of the opposite of the vinyl color, so that you can have more control. Because if you're just doing a whitewash on orange, you're going to be stuck there for a long time neutralizing. And that's when you need to come in and you need to really dab and get your color to be as blank as possible by mixing around its opposite color, so that it goes to the depths of the vinyl and turns the vinyl as white as possible. So that's basically the example that I wanted to show you guys with neutralizing. So the next step that I'm going to do as a reborn doll artist, and not everybody may do the same, but this is how I got my Aspen white completely blank in like my whitest canvas that I could possibly find, and you know, get with the results that I put into her. The same thing I want for Aspen, that I've done for Aspen, I want to do for Paris with Love by Adria Stoetti. So my next move is, after I do her, all her limbs and her head and everything, I'm going to go in with the whitewash, or you can go in with Flesh 08 or Flesh 07, a nice light skin tone. But you can do a whitewash with a dab of yellow. You can go in with skin tone, but you got to keep doing it and be consistent, and probably give it like, I don't know, some kits, this orange can require 3 to 4 washes after a bake. So we're going to do this neutralize, and we're going to bake her, and we're going to put her to the side. If by tomorrow she doesn't cure to the color that I want her to be, then we go in with another layer of this, or I can go in with a layer of that, depending on how much orange is left. Now, if there's a lot of orange left in her kit, I am going to continue to neutralize with the opposite color of orange until that orange is completely gone. Once that orange is gone, then I can go in with a whitewash or a skin tone wash or something like that, just to get my vinyl as blank as possible, so I can start reborning my reborn doll. I hope this video was really helpful. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to ask me. You are not dealing with a child, you are dealing with an adult. If you ask me one question, it doesn't bother me. If you ask me 30, it doesn't bother me. I am here to help you. If you're on my channel, if you're reaching out, I have no problem when it comes to helping people understand the depths of reborning, where they come from, how they're neutralized, because it seems that everybody got their reborns mixed up from where they come from. But honestly, we'll get into that with another video, but not today. So anyways, that's that for the neutralizing. The next thing I wanted to talk about really quickly is this kit is 10 years old, okay? And they don't make them like this anymore. Now, these flanges that are on the bottom of the neck of the dolls, you know, they're kind of like squeezable or whatever, and you can feel that they're vinyl, right? But the ones on the older kits are very, very hard, because these rings, like the rings that we buy for, you know, when we buy our kits, they're already been installed underneath the vinyl. So when these babies were made, they came with the rings. That's why these babies look like that. You know, I know that they pop in a head and then they go around the zip tie and everything. But back in the day, this is why all the older kits came with rings already inside the vinyl and attached to the vinyl. It was because, you know, back in the day, things were higher quality. Nowadays, you got them mixing plastic and vinyl together. This is more plasticky than this baby. This baby's more vinyl than this baby. And this baby has German vinyl. I know the names of the vinyl, but I cannot pronounce them, so I'm not even going to try. It's like a long word that I cannot pronounce. But I'll tell you one thing, all this different vinyl is produced from all over, like it's all reproduced all over the country. Okay, all over the country. German, this is German vinyl, so this comes from Germany. This is a mixture because China also produces this vinyl. I'm not saying this was reproduced in China, but it could have been because they have the same exact vinyl. This vinyl right here, you can find this all over too. Like, you can find all these all over the country, of course, but I'm saying where they originally came from, like where they were reproduced and made in like a factory or something. This one was definitely Germany, and these ones are kind of a question mark. I really am not sure. Anyways, back to the old kit. So, as we all know, this is Paris with Love by Adria Stiletti. She's got the cutest little cheeks. She comes with a COA. Old kits are still available out here. You just have to search for them. But because my reborn journey started in 2010 and I stopped for a while, like I did reborns for like 4 years off and on when I first started. But now we reopened our doors 8 years later in October. It was October of 2023 when we started and reopened our doors for the second time around to this time open up to the public and selling my reborn babies as my art pieces, because I do make some beautiful babies. If you want, you guys can check out a couple of my babies. Rosalie, that is in my nursery, she was one of my first reborn babies that I had ever painted. She was like up there with the first batch of babies. So if you look at her painting, no, she's not the perfect paint, but she is adorable. She does look cute, and she was painted by somebody who had gotten really rusty in those 8 years and had to refreshen her skills and her memory and do it all over again. So yeah, and then we have Miss Poozy hiding behind her with some mini babies right there that are waiting to be reborn. Right now I am working on 12 kits and I'm reborning 12 kits. So knowing the neutralization process is very important. It's the first step after washing your kit. You have to neutralize these babies and make your canvases as blank and as white as possible. So when you paint your baby, they look as real as can be. Okay, so thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to comment if you have any questions, or if you would like to reach out for me for anything that you need to ask and you're not sure of, and you're kind of stuck in your reborn journey and you're at your beginning. Don't be afraid to reach out. My name's Elena. This is Newborn Nursery Reborn. We're all grown adults here. I'm a grown woman. I don't get upset or aggravated. That doesn't happen with me. If I'm busy, I won't read the message until later on that evening when I can get back to that person. But usually I'm really good with getting back to people. I've never had an issue with communication, and I probably never will. One thing that is really important for a reborn doll artist, be a good communicator out here. These reborn doll buyers don't want to hear excuses. They want answers, or you're going to lose your sales. Be on top of your game. Get it and do it. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to comment. Thanks for watching. Peace out.